Okay, this is a little experiment I'm going to try um, with this drip irrigation system. I got a really good idea from a YouTube user named, this user is MartHale7, and his name is Mart, so thank you, Mart. He showed a system called a bucket kit that you could get, this bucket kit that they use in really dry developing countries like in Africa and stuff for irrigating their crops or their gardens for food. And I thought it was a really great idea because I want to do something similar because I have a small little piece of some land. It's not really mine, but nobody really owns it. It's part of the city's kind of right of way, and I used it to grow some peppers back in the spring and late summer, and it turned out really well. But the problem was getting water over there because it's far away from my house, and I can't really run a water line all the way over there. So I was trucking a bucket of water over there and watering it myself, and it was a real pain in the butt. So I wanted to come up with a drip system that I could, in the back of my yard over the fence, place a water container that's out of sight that I could fill up with rainwater and have that hose run along the back of the fence on the other side and go to the garden with a drip system. So here's what I come up with. I really lucked out with these. The Orbit Drip Master drip watering kit contains everything you need except the 1/2-inch drip tubing, which you have to buy separately. So I did buy this separately. And what I really lucked out is they had these on clearance at my local grocery store. The kit itself is normally $29. They had it on sale for $7.95, and the tubing, which normally sells for like $10, they had it on sale for $3. So I really lucked out here. So I bought 2 of the drip kits and then 2 of the tubing, and I don't think I'm going to need both of the tubing because this is 50 feet of tubing, and I don't think I'm going to need that much because, like I said, I'm going to run a garden hose from my water source over to the garden, and it's all the garden is downhill from where my water source is, so I should have sufficient gravity to let this thing drip. So with the kit, it comes with everything you need: the hose attachment, pressure regulator, which I'm not going to have much pressure. So I tested this earlier just to see, if I would be able to get any water out of there, and it worked just fine. Plus, it's got a filter screen that it'll trap any kind of particles before they get stuck in here. But it's got all of the attachments you need. It's got the drip line, and this is just a 50 feet. Yeah, 50 feet of tubing that has small little holes punctured in it every foot or so. Now, the real tough thing was to come up with the spigot for my water supply. So I've decided to use this as my water supply. It's an 18-gallon Sterilite container for storage container. It should work just fine, and then I'll place the spigot, cut a hole and place the spigot right there, and then I'll be able to I'll build a small platform on the other side of the fence that this can rest and get it up off the ground, maybe 4 feet or so, or as high as I can, but I want to keep it below the fence so you don't see it. And then the trick is to add the spigot. So once you've cut your hole, you have to have one of these and one of these. Actually, you need 2 of these washers. So what this is just it's called a seal cock, female threaded seal cock, 1/2 inch. And then this is just an adapter. It's a PVC adapter Doesn't really say what it is, but it's a half an inch PVC adapter, and it was only like 49 cents. And the two washers were just under $3. They were $1.49 a piece, and then the Silcock was $7. I really wanted to go with a plastic one, but I couldn't find a plastic one. A plastic one would have been a lot cheaper, but hey, this will be fine. So basically, this PVC adapter will screw into here. So on the inside of the water container, you're going to drill a 1/2 inch hole, and then you'll put this through with one washer on that side, and then you'll attach on the outside this other washer, and then you'll screw your Silcock in to that PVC adapter, and then that'll be your water spigot. You can turn it on, turn it off. And then the other idea is going to be to put a timer on here, and that's the other thing that Mark showed. He rigged up an electronic water timer that uses 2 AA batteries. Well, he rigged it up to use rechargeable AA batteries, cut a hole in it, and then attached a small solar panel which will keep those batteries charged, so it's completely self-contained, so you don't have to go out and change the batteries, because you want to set the timer to go off at a certain time of the day and to water, say, like 30 minutes every other day or something like that. Well, you set it and forget it. So that's exactly what I'm looking for. So I think this is going to work. So let me cut a hole in this and then fit this pipe to it, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, I've got the spigot attached to it. It's on there really good. Basically just cut a 1/2 inch hole in the container and just put the PVC piece on one side with the one washer, and then the washer, and then the spigot. So there we have that. Let's go see if it's watertight. I don't believe it'll leak, but I want to test it anyway. Okay, I put water in the tub. You can see with the sun behind it, it's above the spigot, and there's absolutely no leaks. It's perfect. It's just what I wanted. And here's from the inside. Now this container will hold 18 gallons. That should be sufficient to water for a few days. I'll just keep my eye on it. Let's turn the spigot on. Let that water run out. I think that's going to work just fine. Don't need a lot of pressure because it's going to be a drip system. Well, next video will show attaching the actual irrigation system to it. I'm not going to install it in the garden yet, but I want to make sure that it does drip properly. So I'll set up a kind of an experiment in the backyard. But I think this part of it is successful.